7 weeks into the regular season, and it's time again to hear from Friday Night Glory's Tarrance Johnson. He covered a big game Friday night, was at an even bigger one, you could say, on Saturday. We'll get to that one in just a second. But first, welcome back, Tarrance. First and foremost, good to see you again. I haven't seen you since that game, Highland Park in Rockwall. But I'm curious, you were at the Cedar Hill Waxahachie game on Friday night. What did you take away from that one?
Well, thanks for having me on again. Great to see you. This week 7 just passed. It was like the District of Doom started out with Cedar Hill and Waxahachie. Cedar Hill was still undefeated in district along with Duncanville. So this is the three-headed monster between this District 11-6A. The first quarter, it was 0-0, a defensive battle. You know, Coach Carlos Lynn, he's a defensive guru. And then Coach Shane Tolleson came from Denton Ryan. He had a defensive package put together. It was a real good game. And by halftime, it was 7-0. Waxahachie went in with the lead. Now, coming back out of halftime, third quarter, Cedar Hill didn't get no touchdown, but they got a field goal, cutting it to 7-3. So I'm going to tell you this, fourth quarter is when it got good. Quarterback Cedric Harden Jr., 2 rushing TDs on the night, but he had the game-winning TD in the fourth quarter, which pretty much put this game away to make it 14-10. His running back, Jalen Jenkins, had 122 rushing with no TDs. But Cedric Harden also has an arm. He had 122 yards passing, 1 TD throwing. In this game, Jeranaris Nicholson, hey, he had a spectacular catch. One big catch for 46 yards and another one for 37, but the 46-yard catch is the one that stood out to me because he concentrated on the ball and came down with it. So watch out for that kid.
Well, we're getting down to crunch time in district play here, Tarrance, and I'm curious, you look at the landscape of district play in North Texas. Any scores or results that really stood out to you, big games, anything that kind of maybe surprised you?
Yes, Grand Prairie and South Grand Prairie had a good one. Now, you know, Grand Prairie haven't beaten South Grand Prairie in 10 years. I believe 2009 was the last time, but this was a close game. Ended up being 34-33. GP finally gets the win to claim that rights up in the city of Grand Prairie. I believe our guy Adam Sandoval was out at that game, so he went to school there, so he knows a lot about those rivalries. So it was pretty good for the Gophers out there in Grand Prairie to get that victory.
Well, on Saturday, I heard you were at a different game. It wasn't high school related. There was something that was going on in Dallas on Saturday. Tarrance, what was that? What was it?
Well, everybody knows this the big Red River Shootout, Oklahoma, Texas, which is always a good game.
You're a big Longhorns fan, right, Tarrance?
Oh, no. Let me get you here for that. You know me better than that. Matter of fact, hold on one second. I'm like Carso, baby. You know what it is here.
Well, that game featured 2 incredible performances from hometown kids. Kennedy Brooks, the running back for Oklahoma. Marvin Mims, the receiver from Oklahoma. Kennedy went to Mansfield, and Marvin went to Lone Star in Frisco. Just kind of maybe your thoughts on their performances on the biggest stage.
Well, on the biggest stage here, these guys came home to really show the fans, you know, why they chose Oklahoma, why Texas high school football is the best football here in the country. Marvin Mims had spectacular catches. He finished with 136 yards and 2 TDs, but the biggest catch, I mean, sideline, tiptoe drill, whatever you want to call it, 51 yards from Caleb Williams. Spencer Rattler had to sit down for a while. He wasn't having a good game. Caleb came in. It looked like he never lost a beat from high school, throwing big passes to Marvin Mims. But Kennedy Brooks capped this game off with 2 big runs. They ran the same exact play, hiking the football to Kennedy Brooks in the backfield. He take it in, 65 yards for the first run, almost fumbled, but overruled is our ball again, so we kept going. 33-yard touchdown to cap this off. 55-48 the final. He ended up with 217 rushing yards and 2 TDs. Red River rival still belongs to OU.
Well, I mean, you talk about Mims' performance. He had a couple of catches that really sparked OU's rally, and then that Texas defense just looked worn out by the fourth, and Brooks, big body type, was able to really get going there in the late stages and give the Sooners the victory. Hey, stay hydrated, Tarrance. I know you're still celebrating this weekend, but it's always good to see you, man. Thanks for coming on.
Always good to see you, Jonah. Hope to run into you again.
You betcha.